Continue.
All right.
Should I just do it one more time, Carl?
Oh, yeah. And there you go. Sweet.
Great, yeah. All right, well, welcome everybody to Carroll College's 13th meeting of 2021, Carroll College Pre-Medical Club's 13th meeting of 2021. This is a really special meeting because not only is it our last meeting of the year, last meeting that these officers are presenting this for us, but it's our junior officer inauguration as well. The final power transition, junior officer to current officer, as well as a few final thoughts after a quite amazing academic year relative to the unpredictabilities and uncertainties that this semester and academic year has posed for us here at Carroll PMC and beyond. So today we'll start with our opening messages and COVID-19 case report as usual, and then we'll discuss a few important dates and a few important resources. When I say important, I mean like very, very important. Like you do not want to miss this. I know some of it may be repeated, but you need this in the back of your brains. If you are applying this cycle, if you're planning to take the MCAT, or if you're just a pre-med in general, and we'll be attending Carroll next year. Then we'll have our junior officer inauguration. We'll have a final word from our faculty pre-medical advisors, and we have one sitting in the audience in the back. That's Tun. I know we've talked him up a lot, and he's here with us now. And then a final word from us as well. We'll have our tip of the week, and then a few closing remarks. We will get you guys out of here so you can go back to studying probably.
All right, everyone. So the purpose of these meetings is to inform, to excite, to empower, and to involve. And two questions you should keep in mind during and after this meeting is, why am I here and why should I care? And keeping these in mind, we will have a successful meeting. All right, so since our last meeting, there's been an increase in total cases with numbers jumping from 108 to 109,000. In Montana. County numbers have currently increased from 49 since our last meeting. And total deaths have increased by 10 in Montana, with one being reported in Lewis and Clark County. And once again, here's the vaccination information. I checked both links today, and I wasn't seeing anything for any first dose stuff. A lot of second dose dates and everything, but maybe there'll be some more dates and appointments that you can make later on. Thank you.
And so as far as some important dates, so for those of you who are planning to take the MCAT for the remainder of this testing cycle, the dates are up there. They're kind of hard to read. This is again going to be available on YouTube and recording, so you can kind of look a little bit closer at the dates. These are also on the AAMC website, which is something that I'm sure you guys are aware of anyway, but the Association of American Medical Colleges website, they have the MCAT on there. They have it posted for everybody to look at, and all of those dates are on there, as you can see, or maybe not see, but like if you take the test in May 1st, which if you're taking it May 1st, good luck. I don't know why you're here and not sleeping. But the score release date is June 1st of 2021. It's a whole month that you have to wait. And it also took registering for it in February of 2021. And it's suggested by the website that you start prepping between December and February of 2021, prior to taking the MCAT in May. So for those of you who aren't testing this cycle and are planning to test next cycle or in future cycles, look at these dates and look at these timelines, and you should begin to start crafting in your head, okay, like this is the outline of what I plan to do now. Like I have to start prepping multiple months in advance prior to when I want to test, when I will register. The junior officers, when they're in their current officer roles next fall, will share with you when the registration dates come out for the, I guess, 2022 MCAT. That is something that happens in October. I think it was like October 15th last year for all of this. And there's different like dates because there's different testing. So there's like 3 waves of different registration dates when it opens. All of this is not posted yet, but it will all be communicated next fall. So unless you're testing for one of these dates, you don't have to worry for that. It's always something to think of because the MCAT is no joke. So here again are just a few important dates for those of you who are applying this cycle to medical school, meaning that you will enter medical school in fall of 2022. Remember, it takes a year to apply to medical school. For AMCAS, for MD schools, the application opens on May 3rd for submitting all your information. This is great. You can submit all your personal information, all your course load information. You can submit activity descriptions as well. You can submit your personal statement. All of it can be set and ready in their application so that on May 27th, when it opens for submissions, you can click it and submit it. And it's great because applying to medical school is a rolling admissions process. So the earlier you apply, the better. And the earlier you apply, it's very pertinent to do so because, well, I mean, this past cycle, there was an 18% increase in admissions at least, or applications at least. And so a lot of people want to become doctors. A lot of people are applying now. A lot of people had a year really to prep everything. Maybe they were going to apply last cycle and they didn't. And now they're going for it. So it might be a tough wave this cycle, who knows? And so it's always good to apply early. And AMCAS offers a really great way to do this. You'll probably start to see feedback in late June or early July because they got to go through a verification process, which takes like 4 to 6 weeks. So they're going to go through it, make sure that everything is okay. They may send it back to you and ask you to correct a few things. They did that for mine as well when I applied last cycle. But you don't lose your spot in the rolling admissions process. You don't lose it. So once you submit, you won't lose that spot, which is good because it's very important when you have like thousands and thousands of applications all coming in at once. The reason why I say this is so nice is because for DO schools, it's not as nice because when it opens on May 4th, which is next Tuesday, I believe, it opens for putting in your information and submitting the application as well. So, I mean, it opens and you have to go through the whole process of entering all your information and then it's submitting right away. So it's right into the rolling admissions process. And submission dates vary for each program you apply to. So on the application, you actually select individual programs to apply to. It's still a standardized application. You're still just like, it's like $169 upfront, I think, and then $46 additionally for each medical school you apply to. So it's still standardized, but each program has their individual like submission date deadlines and stuff. So that's really where your medical school list comes in really handy. And so, yeah, those are just some things to be aware of. This, while it changes sometimes by like a few dates, this is almost exactly, not really, well, somewhat of what it looked like last cycle. The only reason why it was a little different was because of COVID, but it's usually around this time those dates operate. So something to keep in mind if you're not applying this cycle and it's in future cycles as well. Anything else to add, you guys? Anything?
So like I started drafting all my stuff in January. So you definitely like start working on your application. And so that way, like when it opens, I didn't just copying and pasting it in. So.
We're not going to spend this meeting going over elements of the application. That's something we've done in earlier meetings as well. And that's also some questions that we could answer at later times as well if you reach out to us. And we have all our recordings on YouTube in which we describe that process and we give you links to more official places that describe it officially. But we did a pretty good job. So job opportunities in Helena and then also just in Helena and Montana in general. This is, you know, because during the academic year at Carroll, if you see it as possible to work at clinical opportunities or non-clinical opportunities, it's always good because it's building your resume, it's broadening who you are as a person, and it's allowing you to explore medicine and further define if this is right for you. And so in Helena, we've posted the last 2 meetings. St. Peter's Health has a variety of different jobs you can apply to, CNA, EMTing, the list goes on and on. Sometimes they will offer you the training for that. They'll pay you to do the training for that. You just have to look into each job you apply to. So when the job just apply.
Yeah. I'm just going to say for the EMT job at St. Peter's Health, they will not accept you unless you are 21. So just putting that out there.
That's good enough.
It's a driving ambulance rule. But yeah. We'll accept you at Eagle. Yeah.
I'll say if you're willing to drive, Benefits Hospital needs EMTs for the Mercy Flight position that I have. And I got that job at 19. So, I mean, especially if you've been an EMT for a couple of years or have that training or have some other background stuff, they're desperate. So if you're willing to drive, it's a great job, pays very well. And I can get more information if you guys want that.
That'd be great, definitely. And you might not have to drive soon.
I will
but we'll get
say-
into that.
The rest of the CNA or the rest of the St. Pete's jobs, you don't have to be 21 to apply for. And the only one that you need a like certification for is a CNA. The rest of those you can apply for with, or I mean, EMT also, but the rest of those you can apply for with no certification or any previous history.
Pureview Health is also a small acute care medical center, and also some family medicine docs work there. It's sort of near St. Peter's as well. They're hiring for a medical assistant, and also there are opportunities to shadow there as well. Again, any shadowing you do, go through career services, make sure it's okay, make sure we have the contract set up. It's very important. However, they have been conducive to students in the past, so good thing to reach out. And there's many more. You just Google medical centers in Helena, and any clinic that's there, reach out to them, see if you can be of any assistance, see if you could volunteer, see if you could shadow. But always go through career services with West, because you're all contracts with them to make sure that you're covered in case anything were to happen. That's a very important part of shadowing. In Montana in general, show dare, you can apply to be a mental health technician there, which in a previous meeting, Michael spoke a lot about. It's an amazing career, get to work with children, really foster your ability to work people through troublesome times, and also mental illness as well. Anything to add to that, Michael?
Yeah, if you'd like more information on that, I'm a resource, but also you can look back to our previous videos on that when we're talking about that opportunity.
Also, one additional thing that's not on there, if you have taken a few psych classes and you're interested in psych stuff where you've been a mental health tech, Intermountain is a long-term facility in Helena that specializes in like child, youth, adolescent therapy. And they hire many Carroll students over the summer. And it's just like a summer only Carroll student position, and they are hiring right now. So you can look up Intermountain, and I've heard really great things from Intermountain as well. So that would be a clinical experience because they are patients and you are directly working with them, but it's a very different setting and climate.
There's also the VA here as well, which I don't know if you guys have seen, but if you go a little, like you're driving towards Missoula, but you don't get as far as Broadwater Hot Springs, you kind of take a ride at the light, and the VA is kind of hidden back there. There are job opportunities there as well. You just have to do a little bit more digging, and there's a few more regulations you have to go through since it is a VA. Apparently they're hiring for a CNA as well. And benefits health system, if you don't move to Great Falls, you might be able to work at the one that's going to be here. They're already hiring for lead patient services representatives. They're already posting jobs out there because benefits is creating a few health clinics here town in Helena. And so excellent job opportunities for you guys. Really, you just got to do some digging, look for things that are right for you. And any information about applying, about presenting yourself best, please reach out to Wes Spice. Please reach out to Ton, and also go on Handshake, and you can find not only advice, but even more opportunities as well in Montana or beyond Montana as well. Does anybody have any questions about job opportunities here? And anything else to add? Good on that? Okay. Volunteer opportunities as well. I mean, in Helena, St. Peter's has multiple different opportunities. Helena Food Share, also it's about 10 minutes away from here. Easy volunteer opportunity with very friendly staff. And yeah, Holter Museum, God's Love, Helena Indian Alliance. You just reach out to people and see what opportunities may arise. I would like to point out that Roman Henderson is going to be filling the position of resource liaison coming fall of 2021. I'm sure if you're interested in opportunities in Montana right now, you could also reach out to him, and he's going to be helping with coordinating some of those activities. He'll be working directly with the career services as well, really helping you guys for seeking out those opportunities as well. Yeah, and then there's a few more in Montana, like Red Cross, VA clinics, etc. Any questions about that? as well. Good. Okay, then I guess the time has come. So might I ask the current officers to step up in front of the chairs. We are going to now officially inaugurate each one of our junior officers with elbow bumps. Yes. And so
Yes.
when your name is called, you can walk down and kind of like pass us. We'll have a one-way lane so that we maintain social distancing as best as possible. We're giving you a gift bag, and then we're also going to give you a certificate that you can hang up, frame, or send a picture.
Show your mom.
Parents, yeah. So anyway, first up is Roman Hendrickson. He is going to be taking over as the Carroll PMC Resource Liaison, which is a new opportunity, and had served as our treasurer as well at the beginning of this year. So congratulations, Roman.
Come on, wait.
Oh, wait, grab your bag. Hey. Next up is Matthew Glim. He will be taking over as Carroll PMC's Community Outreach Coordinator, which is also a new position as well. So congratulations, Matthew.
Bam, 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 bam.
All right, coming up next is Amber Jones. She is going to be taking over as Carroll PMC's treasurer. Congratulations, Amber. Okay, then meet your new Carroll PMC Sergeant of Arms, Michael Ward, who will be taking over Michael Henderson's
Michael.
position.
Big man.
All right. Next up, Alyssa Hurst. She's going to be your Carroll PMC secretary. Taking over as Will Horst. Next up, we have Peyton Lip. She's going to be Carroll PMC's new vice president, taking over Joe Case's position. Congratulations, Peyton. And last but not least, we have Taylor Lespico. Did I say that right? I'm sorry.
Let's go.
Lespico, okay. I have a weird last. Yeah, great work, you guys. We're from all of us, before we say our final words, we're really proud of your persistence and your endurance. This academic year has been rough. This junior officer mentorship program is the first annual Carroll PMC junior officer mentorship. And so there's been a lot of reviewing processes and going over some things, some abrupt changes and some unexpected circumstances, but we pulled through. We're here. We're almost done with the semester. We're really close. And ultimately, we could not have hosted this club and maintained it without you guys as well. And so we are very proud of what you've given to this club already, and we anticipate what you're going to be given to it in the future. And so congratulations, you guys. One last round of applause for all of you. Last thing as well, I am super proud of the three other officials who are standing up here with me, because we started this club from, again, like five people and brought it up. I mean, our first initial meetings, it was just us, just hanging out in the lower cube. We're kind of figuring out like, okay, like, what are we going to do with this? Like, we see a need and we need to address it. We need to fix it. We know that we can be beneficial to people. We know the going is going to get rough, but we're ultimately, we know together we can create something special, and we created something special. And hopefully it will be continuous in the future. And I think the effort that we have instilled within this club over the last year will help make that possibility a reality. And so just from me to you guys, here's some certificates of exemplary service as well. So please give these people a great round of applause. Okay, now some final words now. So from Wes and Ton, do you want to talk about this? Do you want
Yeah, I'll just talk in general, if that's okay.
go for it? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm Ton, I probably have only met like 5 or 6 of you, so people who have not seen me before, shame on you for not scheduling an appointment. Because I want to help you guys get into medical school, all right, so they hired me specifically because, one, I'm very passionate about helping students, and two, my knowledge of databases, working with students beforehand, getting them into medical school through the Army as well as through regular school. I have a master's in social work, so I've been trying to help people in the past, many years. So here, my goal is, all right, so if you're a freshman or sophomore, usually I'm working on your 4-year plan, right? Hey, making sure you did all the right classes and doing all that good stuff. If you're a junior, that's like the most important year, or if you're planning on, as a senior, planning later that year, meet with me, to be honest with you. We're gonna look at your MCAT prep, we're gonna look at what medical schools you should apply to. I'm gonna ask you like really hard questions. It's not just like MCAT and GPA anymore, right? Every school is going to go through like a holistic approach. So it's like, where are you from, right? Like if you're from North Dakota, I'm gonna tell you to apply to North Dakota Medical School. They hire only North Dakota person, if you're like getting a letter of recommendation from a doctor, where did that doctor go to? What school did they go to? That's good to know, because maybe they remember that doctor going to that school, right? So I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions. I want to help you get into medical school. That's why they hired me. I also like to have fun as well. So like once you get in, we'll have a glass of wine. Be like, yeah, all right, let's go. Yeah. So like, and like the mock interviews is super important as well. So like I always tell people, like the goal is not to get into medical school. The goal is to get an interview, right? Then it's all on you. Like who cares for them kind of GPA and all your stuff? They just care about the interview. The goal is always to get an interview to a medical school. So we're gonna look at that. And yeah, I'm just happy to be here. I'm sorry I wasn't here for the last couple of months. I've been lots of family medical issues with the wife being pregnant and all, having a baby in a couple weeks. But just email me, I'll respond back, and I can leave that. I don't want to take care of them at 2 in the morning. I'll rather be here and hang out with you guys. So thanks for having me, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Awesome. Well said.
All right, and now a final word from some of our current officers, starting off with one and only Michael Henderson.
Thank you, President Sujak. All right, so just a few points. There's a lot of words up there, but I just really wanted to emphasize these. And reality is, just as this semester started, the time flies quickly. And so really be courageous in the opportunities you take, but also, even if you know the outcome of those opportunities, you never know, things may change. So seek them out and pursue them relentlessly. Also, keep in mind that it's quality over quantity, in that it can be easy to be caught up on this list of check marks to do, but what's really important is your story and your ability to tell that. And additionally, as Tan had indicated, really use your resources and find those resources, and they are available all around campus. It's really the initiative that will go a long way. And as a previous advisor had told me, is focus on an upward trend. If you had some stumbling this semester, whether it be academically or in friendships or in anything, it's just really good to keep in mind just for life, but especially as an undergraduate, to look for that upward trend through your 4 years here, or 5 in my case. And then each and every one of your guys' stories are unique. And with that, don't forget to take risks. If you can, find a mentor and build a successful environment for yourselves that will foster your story and build you into a competitive applicant in whatever your future pursuits are.
I guess I have to say my biggest thing is get involved. And I know everyone says that, but find the things that you're passionate about and do it well. Because passion speaks volumes. You can talk all day about check boxes, but they're gonna see right through that you didn't do that because you cared about it. You did it because you checked boxes. And on with that, like use your voice to do good things. If there's something you're passionate about and you think is like not working well at the school, change it. It's really not that hard. We have the luxury of going to a small school. You just need to find the right people to get involved with the change you want. Every day you want to write your story. I know that when I was young, my dad always told me like, choose your life as if you were like writing your eulogy. So if you spend every day thinking of life that way, like what do you want to be remembered for and stuff like that? It kind of just helps when you're trying to make decisions. Another thing is it's really like, it's okay to change your mind, but don't give up on your dream when challenges arise. You might realize that you don't want to be a doctor and you want to go get your PhD in biochem, and that's totally okay. That's not because you weren't cut out to be a doctor or whatever. Don't go to med school if that's not your passion. Follow your passion. But also at the same time, don't give up on what your true passion is because you stumbled in OChem and had to retake it. OChem is hard. You will realize that. There are days that I like sat in my dorm crying, calling my dad, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not doing pre-med. It gets better. Every year gets so much harder, but so much better. And so, like Michael said, it really flies by. Like I felt like we were all just freshmen in quad, and here we are. So, you know, with that, enjoy college in your 20s. You're only young ones. Life will always be there. You know, or I think I meant to say school will always be there. Like, that doesn't mean don't mess up in school, but like, don't not go to the wedding or to the big family event or on the vacation because you're in school. We're going to be in school until we're 30. If you don't do anything in life until you're 30, you're really going to regret that and get burnt out. Just figure out how to manage your time and schedule your time well enough to be able to have fun in your life and enjoy being young. Don't miss everything to study. You'll get burnt out.
All right, Julie.
So I'm just gonna probably echo a lot of what the other members have said, but you're gonna be faced with a lot of adversity. You're gonna get a 71 on your chemistry test or something, and you're gonna go in the bathroom and you're probably gonna cry, just like I did. But it's time to get back up, and you can't just lay down and keep the punches hitting you in the face. You have to just get back up, and you gotta keep moving along. Everybody's gonna have a hard time, a bad test grade, a friend's gonna pass, your mom isn't gonna talk to you for a day, maybe because she's mad at you, something like that, but you gotta keep moving along because you are you, and that's how it is. And just like Kayla and Michael said, know that Carroll is here for you in so many ways, like Ton, Wes, all of them, even your professors. If you ask them to do anything for you, they will do it as long as they know you well enough, or even if they don't, they're all here to help you, and they're here for that sole purpose. And that sole purpose is to get you to where you want to be. And they're going to teach you every day. Also reach out to friends for help, and also be transparent with those friends. Like, it's nice to come to the pre-medical club and look everybody else in the face here and know that we're all going through similar struggles. We're all taking hard classes, and we're all in this together. And there's no reason to be lying to somebody about, oh, I got a 93 on this exam when you really got a 77. Like, maybe if you told them you got a 77, they could tell you the trick that they got a better exam score with you. And so that can help. And having friends that are pursuing the same things that you are doing is very helpful. And being transparent with those people is also very helpful. Hit those office hours with your professors. They are bored in their office, grading papers, making exams, and they love seeing a smiling face, even though they can't really see it. But maybe they will next year, and they really appreciate when you come in. And even if you're not talking about academics, like if you just walk into your next class, leave 10 minutes earlier and stop by one of their offices. Like if you live in the Carroll apartments, walk straight through the lab building and just see if one of their doors are open and say hi to them, go pet Carpenter's dog or something. And then always reward yourself, damn it. It's the best thing to do. It keeps you moving, and it keeps the battery recharged. If you've had a hard work day, You studied for 4 hours, take a couple hours off, watch a YouTube video, go talk to your friends, you know, relax, learn to find a rhythm with yourself where you can work, relax. And that's one of the best benefits I've ever done for myself. Thank you.
Love it. Joey's always so like laid back and down to earth. His advice before I come in with all the abstract stuff. Anyway, before just as a precursor, these on here are all of the activity choices and classifications that you can choose to mark each of your 15 max activities on your AMCAS application. So you can choose any of these to label those activities. This is a wide variety of different activities, like artistic endeavors on there, like hobbies are on there as well. Military services on there. Like there are things on there that one would look at and they wouldn't think doctor the first thing when they look at it. And that's because part of becoming a physician is also not being a physician as well. It's being a person. That's the true thing, that if you're not authentic, coming across through applications, if you're not an authentic person, it just doesn't bode well. I mean, you could look at YouTube and Ryan Gray stuff and some applicants and their applications in which he'll deconstruct them through like application renovation. And a lot of the people who have these amazing stats, this great MCAT, this great GPA, I mean, they aren't coming across as authentic. Their pathway and their passions aren't clear and they're not demonstrated. And the way you demonstrate this is through activities. It's through following with what you love to do. It's through doing that. And it's through being able to reflect upon that and how that grows you and why you truly love that. And people are hungry for stories. It's part of our very being. Humans work really well with stories. It's how we conceptualize things. It's how we learn. It's how we teach things. Okay. And so this is something that's very important to focus on or in your applications. And speaking of the abstract, here's the last little word of advice I'd like to give. It's sort of based off of, I guess, like multiple scientific experiments, but ultimately it should come down to a motivational lesson for you guys that I employ in my life a lot when the going gets rough. And so the question I'd like to address is how do you make a mouse run down a runway from inside a cage? So like you got a mouse, you started off in a cage, it's enclosed. You open up the cage door. How do you get it to run down the runway? You put a piece of cheese at the end of the runway, okay? Because mice love cheese. So if you open up that cage, a mice is going to run down that runway at a speed proportional to how hungry it is to get that cheese. And they've done experiments like this. You lift open the cage door, the mice, they run down there super fast to get the cheese. Sometimes they're not as hungry and okay, maybe they'll just like roll over and die or something. But no, if you're hungry for it, cheese is great. The cheese is what they want. They'll run for it and they'll go for it. There's another thing you can do as well to make mice run down that runway. Mice instinctually have a fear of cats. It's like we're like scared of snakes, like, you know, a bunch of other things innately, instinctively. Mice are afraid of cats. So in addition to open up that cage and having that cheese there, the mice want, you can waft a little bit of cat odor over them in the cage, and the mice will bolt down that runway faster than with just the cheese alone. And this has been demonstrated. It's an important realization because it goes to show that, you know, it can be really handy sometimes to at the same time you are running away from something, you are running towards something you really want. So at the same time you're running away from something you fear, you're running towards something you really want. Like it can be really beneficial for that. And so I think we all, just as people in general, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all have our vices and everything. I think this sort of thought experiment is somewhat healthy and helpful to have every once in a while. So I'm sure you guys are in tune with yourself enough, especially your vices as we come to a stressful point in the semester, to acknowledge what would happen if you let your temptations kind of really auger you into the ground. Like you know your temptations, you know things that you could let kind of run loose that you try and avoid at all costs, but you know sometimes you give in because we're humans, we make mistakes. And I challenge you to think of your temptations and think about what you would happen if you let those temptations like augur you into the ground for the next 3 to 5 years, and like where exactly you would be, like if you let all of those negative aspects of yourselves drill you down. I'm sure we can all kind of envision what kind of handbasket we'd use to go to whatever level of hell in if we had the option to do so. You know, like some of us would be, would fall prey to addiction. And some of us maybe obesity or lack of physical activity or poor nutrition. Some of us may be like killed by like a family relative or something, and possibly justly so. Depending on who you are.
Might happen.
Might be
But-
the other way around.
Ultimately, it's an interesting thought experiment though, because, you know, when becoming a physician, becoming a doctor, like that desire and that passion and longing is not enough. And it can be sometimes, trust me. Sometimes the fear of not becoming that, the fear of giving in to the temptations of not studying, sometimes that fear and that knowledge and thinking about that can be enough to get you out of bed, can be enough to continue your studying and get you the discipline you need to pursue you down that runway, to get to what you need, to get to the goal of becoming a physician. That's why I always tend to say that, hey, you don't have to have something extremely horrible happen to you in your life and then realize from that you want to be a doctor, or realize certain things about yourself. If you conceptualize about your reality in ways in which you take ownership and knowledge of your temptations, your limitations, if you really think about that every once in a while, sometimes that knowledge will really help you to achieve your goals in the long run. So with that, we can begin to conclude this meeting. Before we say the tip of the week, I didn't include this in the PowerPoint slides, but we have t-shirts here. When we are done with this meeting, feel free to walk down. We will give you the sizes that you requested when you put your tally mark on the whiteboard. These t-shirts were graciously funded by Carroll ASCC through a request that was made by your current treasurer, Amber, and past Sergeant of Arms, Michael Henderson. And so we're really proud that you guys were able to secure those funds and afford the t-shirts to you guys. So just come down after the meeting, grab your t-shirts, and then you can be on your way. With that, Michael, your first tip of the week as an official, inaugurated Sergeant of Arms.
All right,
Don't
guys.
screw it up.
All right, guys, so we got like 2 more weeks. Let's finish our semester strong. Let's not just give up towards the end. Make sure you go to review sessions and office hours. I find it very helpful. You know, even if you don't think it is, or if you don't have questions, sometimes other people have questions, and I usually just go off with whatever they're asking and do practice problems. Study hard, please sleep. I'm telling you.
8 hours. Seriously, you're better off.
And then for your summer, relax and enjoy your summer, but not too much. I'd say stay busy with something. And then also, please meet with Wesson Ton. I've told you, this is the 3rd time I've told you now, so please
Say it again.
meet with him, please.
Getting ready to be a dad. This is the 3rd time I've told you.
I like it. All right.
Give me a little
And now
PTSD.
Michael.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little sentimental for me because we're concluding, and you know, as we conclude the semester, I think this quote is relevant. I believe that there are people that help you become the person that you end up being, and you can be grateful for them, even if they were never meant to be in your life forever. And I think as officers, all of us are incredibly grateful for your time that you've all dedicated to this club in attending these meetings, but also your presence on campus, sharing the pre-med way. And with that, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Have a great rest of the semester, you guys. Good luck on all your exams. Study hard and be sure to sanitize your desks before you leave. We appreciate it. One more round of applause for just everybody's.
Yes, t-shirts. Yes.